in 1 Kings chapter 3, verse 16. Now 2 women who were harlots came to the king and stood before him. And one woman said, Oh my Lord, this woman and I dwell in the same house, and I gave birth while she was in the house. Then it happened the 3rd day after I had given birth that this woman also gave birth. And we were together. No one was with us in the house except the 2 of us in the house. And this woman's son died in the night because she lay on him. So she arose in the middle of the night and took my son from my side while your maidservant slept, and laid him in her bosom, and laid her dead child in my bosom. And when I rose in the morning to nurse my son, there he was dead. This passage shows us that just because you claim to be a mother, or just because you carry the title, it doesn't automatically make you a mother. It was Cindy J. Harris that said the commonest fallacy among women is that simply having children makes one a mother, which is as absurd as believing that having a piano makes one a musician. It was Phil Whisenhunt that said the most important occupation on earth for a woman is to be a real mother to her children. And in this text, one of the women was the child's mother and the other one was not. And the wisdom of Solomon determined the real mother of this child. So the question becomes, what are the characteristics of the real mother? Well, first of all, the real mother was not perfect. These mothers in the passage were such humdingers to the degree that they may not have even known who the father of their children were. As the text does not mention paternity, but it does mention profession. But the good news in this passage is the fact that the passage does not mention them engaging in their profession during or after the baby arrived. And I'd like to think that the responsibility of getting pregnant and the care of having a baby brought about some changes in their lives. In the text, the woman that wasn't the real mother of the child was the antithesis of what an effective parent, of what a real mother is supposed to be. Apparently, she laid her newborn baby in the bed right underneath her without thinking that she might roll over on it. And her negligence caused her to accidentally kill her child. Not only was she negligent, but she was deceitful, because she lied to her roommate by tricking her, making it appear that the living child was hers. She was not only deceitful, she was also a thief, because she robbed the first woman of the most precious possession that a person could ever have. This woman was negligent, she was deceitful, but then she was downright cold-hearted. But watch this, a real mother has compassion. Now, the king is in a dilemma. King Solomon came up with an idea. His method would probably be illegal today, but nevertheless it was effective. After a moment, the king said, "Bring me a sword." When the true mother saw the sword, Solomon knew that it would present her with an emergency situation. Her response to the thought of what he might do to her child would create emotions that only a real mother would express. And so they brought the sword now to the king. Then he said, "Cut the living baby in 2. Give half to one and half to the other." The real mother now was overcome with emotion and compassion. She said to the king, "Oh no, master, give her the whole baby alive. Don't kill him." But the other mother said, the other woman said, "If I can't have him, you can't have him. Cut him away." The king gave his decision. This is what the king said. He said, "Give the living baby to the first woman. Nobody is going to kill this baby, because this is the real mother. The real mother of the baby baby was willing to sacrifice her motherhood for the life of her child. She would rather see another woman raise her child than see her baby split in two. And if I could, I'd like to poll the room on Mother's Day to find out where are the real mothers. Where are the mothers who recognize that you have a past, but you're not the person that you used to be? Where are the mothers who have accepted the responsibility of motherhood to the degree that you're doing your best to raise your own child? Where are the moms who can say, I've matured since my children were born to the degree that I set an example for my children to follow? But if it's one thing that mothers understand, it is that mothers, or may I say a real mother, understand what it means to sacrifice. And if you are a real mother, why don't you look at somebody and say this morning that I understand sacrifice.